Tony Ferguson is in the news again, and he's not holding back. The ex-interim champion has rekindled his decade-long beef with Khabib Nurmagomedov and made a shocking claim in the process that Islam Makhachev is superior to his own coach. This Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov beef is nothing new. It's been simmering for years. At a previous press conference, the tension between them was evident as the two fighters exchanged verbal jabs. It all began with Ferguson dishing out the first salvo of hot words, calling Khabib overrated and doubting his toughness. With his characteristic intensity, Tony let everyone know he wasn't impressed by Khabib's undefeated status, and things set up for what became one of the most heated rivalries in MMA.
He hurt on a high schooler. He won with Daniel Cormier not to lock his hands. And he did the homeless thing. That's 3 strikes. You're f***ing out.
So in other words, it has become personal, and you're a little bit more vested in this than you were previously.
No, it's another fight. I'm thinking that everybody else is hyping it up. I'm pretty cool. I really don't have to talk too much, Khabib. I really don't. The respect is there, bullshit there. I will bring in the pressure, you know what I mean? The fuel and the fire with the 3-strike thing. It's in California, man.
Khabib did not hesitate to shoot back in response. Direct but level-headed, he brushed off Tony's trash talk and labeled him stupid, doubting his fight IQ and sanity. Khabib ridiculed Ferguson's berserk fighting style as more hectic than strategic. The exchange swiftly snowballed, with the two men unwilling to back off, solidifying their feud as one of the most heated and personal in UFC history. It was clear, this was not business, it was personal.
I think we have to fight.
Your legacy.
Like, I think he deserves this, you know. He is real challenge, you know. I respect his skills, you know, but you know, like fighter, he's very good fighter. But why people don't like him? Because he's stupid guy, you know. That's why nobody understand him.
I'm very educated, motherfucker.
Like honestly, like he look like stupid, you know. That's why nobody like him. But like fighter, he's very good fighter, you know. And I respect his skill. And that's why he here, you know, like biggest fight on the year, and we'll see, April 18th.
Fanning the flames, one of their most notorious moments involved a war of words at a press conference showdown where tensions came to a head. When Tony Ferguson laid his interim belt on the stage to make his point, Khabib Nurmagomedov approached and kicked it off with gusto. The move initiated a heated verbal confrontation between the pair, with security intervening to separate them. It was raw, unscripted, and representative of their long-standing feud. Two fighters who were meant to fight, but never did. Yet, despite being booked a staggering 5 times, the bout between Tony Ferguson and Khabib Nurmagomedov never happened, a real tragedy for MMA fans. Injuries, weight cut complications, and a worldwide pandemic all had their part in spoiling what could have been one of the best lightweight wars in UFC history. Ferguson has since spoken about the lost chance with disgust, deeming it unfinished business. For Tony, the battle wasn't hype, it was legacy, and for the time being, that chapter is still horribly unwritten.
And everyone wanted to see that fight between you and Khabib. Do you ever look back at that fight, what could have happened? It's been scheduled 5 times that it didn't work out.
You know, beforehand I would have been pissed off again and keep. It's always gonna be Tiramisu Tuesday, and it's always gonna be McNugget Monday. We did something special a long time ago, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have nothing against the kid. I mean, he's been through a lot of shit already. I feel that at this point in everybody's career, what they can do is represent themselves in the best manner, so that way the newer generation understands that you have to be a tough motherfucker in order to go out there and not just talk shit.
Moving on, in a recent sit-down, Tony Ferguson was questioned regarding a possible confrontation between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. While addressing the topic, Ferguson offered some seasoned advice for Islam. He emphasized the challenge of moving up in weight, suggesting Islam first get used to walking around with the added mass and maintaining it consistently. According to Tony, it's not just about gaining weight, it's about carrying it effectively in camp and in the cage before jumping into a higher weight showdown.
Okay, so the best advice is to be able to walk around at that weight. The big cut going to 155 is bad. I mean, if you're able to, because even mine when I went to Dubai, like I cut from 70 something to like 64 and a half. I overdid it, wasn't paying attention. I should have took a fucking IV. I was sick of shit. If you're not having somebody monitor your weight and you're doing that and you're fluctuating, you're gonna develop like a harder time to keep that weight and like put more weight on after it. But Makhachev's, I'm going to tell you, somebody was telling me, who do you think's a better wrestler?
Ferguson wasn't afraid of what he had to say in his recent statement, yet he also gave credit where credit is due. He complimented Islam Makhachev, going on to say that Islam is the better and more complete fighter than Khabib Nurmagomedov. Islam has better striking, improved timing, and an even higher fight IQ, said Tony. He feels Islam has elevated the Dagestani style of fighting. Coming from a man who had long been rivals with Khabib, the praise sure raised more than a few eyebrows within the MMA community.
He's a better wrestler. Was it Makhachev or was it Khabib? And I think Makhachev is a better grappler, honestly. I think he's a little bit faster. I think with Khabib, I think he's just a little bit more, not timid of the freestyle that Makhachev presents, but I think Makhachev, he's not going to do so bad at 170. I think he'll be all right.
They always have that lightweight GOAT debate. You know, is Khabib the GOAT? Do you think that Islam has surpassed him?
I'm going to be real. I really haven't paid attention. Like, I don't watch this sport, not like a lot of other people do. When I was in it, that's like even for football, and like we have championship rings and championship belts. I'm just so damn busy, like just competing in the sport and making sure that the next generation is going to do the right thing, and it's fucking awesome. So when it goes into who's a better fighter, I mean, each fighter's their own. I can't say one's better than the other. I think to each person, they have a certain purpose why they fight and why they win. And I think that's completely different in Khabib's case.
It wasn't long, however, before things turned sour when Tony Ferguson changed direction and outright insulted Khabib Nurmagomedov. Having first complimented Islam, Ferguson reignited his long history of animosity towards Khabib by mocking his legacy, labeling him as overrated and nepotistic for most of his career. He challenged the level of Khabib's competition and asserted that the undefeated status doesn't reveal the whole picture. The heated comments reminded everyone that although time has gone by, the animosity between El Kuki and the Eagle is anything but forgotten.
You know, matter of fact, Khabib and I, we were supposed to coach against each other in the Ultimate Fighter, and everything was signed. I don't know if anybody knows that, but that was around the time that him and his cousin, he didn't corner him in that fight. So he had some pretty big stuff that was going on. So, I mean, who knows with certain things, but you never wish bad luck for people, but just keep building the legacies, I guess.
Always keeping it classy, but if that opportunity arises in the future that you could coach against Khabib, would you jump on it?
I would definitely take the opportunity to coach against him. He's a knucklehead and he's still fat. And he wears that hat. I'd love to clean the mats with it. But I think that with the opportunity, instead of talking shit, I think it'd be interesting to see what kind of skill level each person has. You're talking about, I mean, I was cornered, or coach was Brock, right? I think it'd be an interesting draw. So, I mean, Khabib, yeah, for sure, definitely. I could talk to you all day about that, but yeah.
Tony Ferguson didn't stop at name-calling. He went overboard, which surprised many fans. He introduced Khabib's late father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, into the discussion, asserting that Abdulmanap would always want to face Khabib in a fight. As the all-time great fight between them never materialized, Tony invited Khabib to train against him on The Ultimate Fighter, arguing that this is their opportunity to finally have their revenge. If not inside the cage, then as coaches.
With The Ultimate Fighter, it was always going to be against Khabib. That's the only person I want to coach against. So, Pussy, when you're ready, I know you're getting ready, dude. I'm just starting to coach. So when I get bigger and better and stuff like that, the coaching thing is like those little dots that you had after your degree. I'm adding them up, and so we'll see you soon, buddy.
What do you think it would take to get Khabib back in coaching on The Ultimate Fighter against you?
Fact, I am the only person his dad said before he passed away that this is the fight to make. Now, regardless if it's a fight, grappling, or anything, I know that he does keep his dad's word. And I know that I've never talked about his religion, his wife, or anybody else that goes about it. But I know competition-wise, if we keep it cordial, there's no reason why we should not be able to coach against each other in the Ultimate Fighter.
But Khabib Nurmagomedov took the high road instead. In response to Tony Ferguson's bitter remarks and personal attacks, Khabib showed class and respect. He acknowledged Tony's shift into coaching and complimented him on contributing back to the sport. Khabib clarified that although their bout never happened, he wishes well for Ferguson on this new venture. It was a peaceful, unflappable reply that demonstrated why the Eagle still walks like a champion.
It's not a surprise for me because he is 4 years old. I just want to wish him all the best. He is truly one of the best whoever was doing in UFC. I just want to wish him all the best, and his life's just beginning, what I think, because he's just 4 years old and he just finished his MMA career. Now it's gonna be different life, much better life. Of course, in prime, my prime and his prime, it's supposed to be a very interesting fight. But what I can do, it was he have couple time injuries, I have couple time injuries. It is what it is, you know. Sometimes we have plan, but God have His plan, you know, and we cannot control this.
On the other hand, shifting the narrative, Tony Ferguson's recent series of comments has led to rumors that he could be planning a UFC return, namely in order to finally face Khabib Nurmagomedov. Fans and experts started speculating, thinking if El Kuki was preparing for one final dance. When asked point blank, Ferguson confirmed that he's been receiving offers, but his attitude spoke otherwise. Less passionate, more contemplative. As much as the urge to complete pending business remains, Tony's tone suggested doubt, casting his comeback into question.
Really, for the GFL, the cool thing is like shit falls through, but what you always do is you got to stay ready. I'm in contact with the commission. I can't say too much with some things, but I know that one thing, I'm being offered a lot of grappling matches. Everybody wants to see me come and compete. When I was competing with the UFC, I wanted to play professional baseball and go professional boxing and do a lot of things. I'm a three-sport athlete, can't help it. And I'm 41 years old, but I feel like I'm 20-something years old, doing sprints and still keeping up and beating all these youngsters.
Adding to the comeback rumors, Tony Ferguson was recently seen socializing with David Goggins, the legendary endurance sportsman regarded for being mentally tough. Their encounter fueled even more conjecture for fans, who view it as an indicator that Tony is mentally preparing to return large. Although not a training session, the connection with Goggins simply made firewood for the theory that Ferguson was building himself up for something great again in the UFC. But the buzz turned unexpected when Chael Sonnen jumped in, offering the theory that Khabib and Tony training against each other would be more probable than the two having a real fight. His remarks steered the buzz from a possible cage fight to a coaching showdown for high stakes, maybe on The Ultimate Fighter. This new perspective presented something new for fans to be excited about, making the rivalry more of a war of wills and strategy instead of punches and taps. The bout may be on, but the soap is just beginning.
What he throws out there is me versus Khabib Ultimate Fighter. Now, he doesn't say we're going to fight each other. He's not the one that's going to pull Khabib out of retirement. There was no silly or ridiculous talk. He came in very mature and said, I am a trainer. I train guys. You are a coach and a trainer. You coach and train guys. Let's come and do the Ultimate Fighter. You get X number of guys. I get X number of guys. Let's put them in there. Let's see who does a better job. Now, I like that. I liked it from the beginning. It didn't gain a whole lot of steam. In fact, I thought it went away. Dana White was doing media yesterday and said, oh no, I'm well aware of this idea and I like it. It is definitely a concept that I would consider. Okay, great. It looks like this could possibly be back on. Now, I will tell you, as far as the Ultimate Fighter goes, I'd like to revisit a whole bunch of things. All the way down to the jerseys that they wear. Like, if there was anything that was happening in 2005 on the Ultimate Fighter that we're still doing in 2022, we should probably give it a look.
Adding on, Chael did not hold back either, further driving home how thrilling a coaching battle Khabib and Tony would be. He emphasized that having these two bitter rivals face off as coaches would add an entirely different degree of drama and intensity to the sport. Sonnen noted that their different styles and personas would provide some of the most unforgettable television, with viewers glued to the screen even without the real fight. To him, this coach-off would come close to finally resolving their mythical rivalry.
With the emergence of the Ultimate Fighter, for the season that it lasts, you are guaranteed a fight every single week. It was so exciting. It was such a fun time to be a fight fan. But from the inception of The Ultimate Fighter all the way fast forward to current day, it would make my stomach turn. And I heard it at least somewhere on every single season where one of the coaches mistook what they were there for. They fell for the hype. They thought that the show was genuinely about them and about the opposing coach and the fight that they were going to have at the end.
In addition to all the fuss about a coaching showdown, Islam Makhachev came in to commend Khabib's coaching skills. He focused on how Khabib's leadership and in-depth knowledge of the sport make him an incredible coach who can lead fighters to victory. Islam's words lent credence to the fact that should this coach-off ever occur, Khabib would be an incredibly dominant figure in the background, demonstrating not only his combat prowess, but also his ability to create champions.
In the camp, you don't have too much options, you know. Today, honestly, we start to like with the team. We start one guys to go Khabib. Maybe tomorrow sparring we can some rest, some rest. Okay, you just go to the light and do like 30 minutes running. Okay, like easy training, you know. But when we came to the gym, 12 rounds is the boxing bags, and after everybody run, it's not easy, you know. And tomorrow 10 in the morning we have sparring. This guy, he don't know his other way. Just one way, hard work.
Bilal Muhammad also discussed training in Khabib's camp, pointing out how it greatly improved his mental toughness. He also complimented the disciplined atmosphere and Khabib's training style, citing that being in the presence of such concentrated fighters challenged him to level up his mentality both on and off the cage. As per Bilal, the camp's tireless work ethic and mental preparation were gigantic factors in developing his confidence and toughness, demonstrating the sheer magnitude of Khabib's impact outside his own bouts.
Been training with Khabib. Now, how often are you training with him, and what are the things you've learned from training with one of the GOATs of mixed martial arts, undefeated, 29-0? What's it like training with him? And then you obviously have your other gym. What's the different comparison?
Oh, man. I mean, anytime I get a chance to train with Khabib and his team, whenever they're in the U.S., it's priceless. Like for the whole Sean Brady, I did my whole camp with them guys. And my coach always brings it up to me because Lou, who's with me since high school, he's still with me now to this day. And like anytime I go on like a trips or something, he'll come with me and he'll just be there as like, you know, your mom in the corner, like, yeah, you got it. As like Khabib walks on me, and he's Snapchat because my family always watches Snapchats when we were in Dubai for 5 weeks. And Lou won't like posting videos. And they're like, why ain't Lou post a video? And Lou's like, nah, he got beat up today. And it just be like,
he's only showing the good shit. He was like, it wasn't a good day, guys. No, we don't want to post that.
Because it was getting over there, like them guys go so hard. And there's not a round off. Like in every gym, you have those rounds off where, like you said, if you have close friends that they see that you're tired, like they'll be, all right, I'm gonna go a little bit lighter with you today because you feel sorry for your boy or something like that. Over there, it's no. With Khabib's gym, they want to win every round. They want to win every second. There's no flow grappling. Like for me, I love grappling. I love I'll play guard a lot whenever I'm like rolling at my gym, and they like Khabib would yell at me, "Get up! This is not jiu-jitsu. Get up! Get on top. You're losing if you're on bottom." And like there'll be rounds where like I'm on bottom, and you know they're held me down for the whole round, and like for myself, I'm like, "What the heck?" And then he said, "Brother, you got to get up." Like they're not trying to give you a chance to scramble or give you a chance to do this. It's like you lost that 5 minutes. So if it happens in a fight, you're gonna get held down. But that whole camp was just so hard because it was we'd do like light sparring, then hard wrestling, hard grappling.
Lastly, celebrated coach Javier Mendez commented on the topic, commending Khabib Nurmagomedov's ability and legacy. Mendez identified Khabib's work ethic, fight IQ, and discipline as exemplary, naming him one of the greatest, most well-rounded fighters the sport has ever produced. His admiration of Khabib lends even more credibility to these discussions, illustrating that despite the drama and feuds, the Eagle earns the respect of some of the greatest minds in MMA. This encomium only fans the flames of anticipation for any further participation Khabib may have, on or off the canvas.
Coach them, so he's been doing this forever.
Well, he is very passionate, and I do know you've been here in Las Vegas from Dubai for a little over a week now, right? You got in town last Sunday?
Yeah, I got in town last Sunday, so I'm here 8 days. Yeah, 8 days.
Yeah, so after the first week of, you know, watching their camps, both Islam and Umar training for such huge title fights coming up. I mean, how are they looking? Like, what's the energy like in there?
You know, it's kind of like energy's good, but it's like work mode. You know, Umar and Islam, they know what they need to do, and they're on work mentality mode. They're just there. They know what they need to do, and there's no energy. Like, it's just knowing we have a job to do.
That's the update on Tony Ferguson rekindling the hot feud with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and the unexpected encomium for Islam Makhachev also being tossed into the equation. With rumors circulating on coaching battles and potential returns to action, the epic remains unfinished. What do you think? Will we ever get to see Ferguson and Khabib go head-to-head inside the cage? Or is a coaching war the best we're going to get? Leave your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for all the hottest MMA news.